Hello and welcome back to TargetOne channel. In this session, we are going to cover the topic of how to write a document in a professional way. At the end of this session, we expect you to have an approach when you are asked to document something that you have been working upon. Documentation is one of the most demanding IT skills, and there is a huge demand for professionals who possess these skills. Now let's take a moment and look at the jobs that require documentation skills, starting with GIS analyst, business analyst, project manager, consultants, software developers, administrators, interns, software testers, sales and marketing, professors, data analysts, and networks engineers. And the list goes on. This is not a complete list, but we have tried to consolidate few of the job roles that requires documentation skills. So these are the basic writing steps you can follow to come up with your initial draft of the document, starting with analyzing the purpose, followed by identifying the audience and purpose statement, gathering information, writing sentence outline, and finally coming up with an initial version of your document, which is called as a draft document. We will discuss each steps in detail. So the first step is to analyze or identify the purpose of creating the document. For example, you are an intern and say you're going through an onboarding process wherein you need to raise certain requests to gain access to certain systems to perform your job role. However, there is no document as such that you can follow. You have been asked to liaise with your senior member in order to gain access to certain application. The senior member is aware of the process but didn't get a chance to document the entire end-to-end process of onboarding a new joiner in his team. So in this scenario, the purpose of the document is an onboarding document for new joiners. In the next step, you need to analyze the audience who would be reading or referring to your document. This is an important step as the audience and its purpose will determine how you organize the document. Now we will take few moments and try to understand the four audience that will be referring to your document. So the first audience we have is expert who give advice. So they would be interested in the source, method and data you used, followed by your findings, opinions and conclusions. Next we have managers who make decisions and plans, followed by operators who follow instructions. Managers and operators will be interested in your findings and opinions and conclusions. They are not interested in source, method, data you used. And finally, general audience who reads it only for information only. In our example, our audience are going to be operators who will be using the onboarding document to follow instructions. It is important to understand what your audience need to know and how much they know about the subject. In the next step, you will like to identify the purpose statement. So the purpose statement has 5 pieces of information: type of document, what the document does, information the audience needs, who the audience is, and what audience does with the information. Now, considering our onboarding document, our type of document will be a process document. What the document does, it provides information. What the information it will provide end-to-end process for onboarding. Our audience will be operators, and what our audience does with the information, they follow it. Now let's take a look at some of the benefits of having a purpose statement. The reader would know that you respect his time if you have a purpose statement in place. The background will be irrelevant if the audience does not know what the premise is. So by having a purpose statement in place, you give the audience the visibility of what the audience is going to go through. Purpose statement is used as a tool to gather information. Also, before you invest time in any research, it is recommended that you have a purpose statement in place. Now that you have a purpose statement, you can start gathering the information in the document. In our example, given that you are liaising with your senior member to raise the necessary access request, you can start noting those points down with the help of sentence outline. A sentence outline is a systematic arrangement of ideas using complete sentence of heading, subheading, main points and subpoints. An outline is like a blueprint that a builder uses while building a house. In standard system of subdividing, you mark your main points as Roman numerals, as you can see on the screen, which is defined as major subdivision. Then you will indent the next level of supporting materials underneath and mark with capital letters A, B, C, etc. As you can see, we have defined it as first level subdivision. Then you will use Arabic numerical in second level subdivision, that is 1, 2, 3 and so on. As you can see on the screen, we have defined it as second level subdivision. If you need the third level subdivision, you will use small letters, that is ABC and so on, in your sentence outline. So as you can see on the screen, we have defined it as third level subdivision. Now that you have an understanding of sentence outline, let's take a look at a sentence outline with an example. Generally, outline have following parts. It starts with title. In our example, the title will be onboarding process, followed by general purpose, which is to provide information. A specific general purpose is to provide step-by-step instruction to complete the onboarding process. And our central idea is to help new joiners with a guide to complete the onboarding process. Then you have introduction and conclusions, and these elements are independent of body and have their own numbering sequence. Between the two independent elements, you have transition. Transition helps the readers to understand connection between thoughts and ideas. The last step is now to produce your initial draft of your document. Now that you have a sentence outline in place, you can start organizing it in a Word document and send your document for review to your senior member. This brings to end of our session. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel, and until next time, take care.